Oh hey, it's me again. And does it look like I want to deal with this? It's a marsupial.
Have you ever heard of a little game called Crash Bandicoot?
Yeah!
A PlayStation exclusive from 1996, Crash Bandicoot is a corridor-based 3D platformer. What's that supposed to mean?
Well, basically, you take the 2D axis, rotate it 90 degrees, stretch it out a bit, and oh hey, it's Crash Bandicoot.
Crash is a very simple game. You have a jump, you have a spin. Those are the only controls beyond walking. Both of them are used to their fullest throughout the entire game, but the spin is your main form of attack since many enemies can't be jumped on. However, don't assume you are invincible while spinning. Enemies are a small percentage of the deaths you'll experience, and yes, you will die. A lot. News it is not, this game is hard. Far more difficult than your average Mario Galactic. While I wish it was only the intended challenge that makes the game hard, there are some unintended consequences. The hitboxes are not quite as neatly lined up as they should be on some things, and depth perception on the PlayStation 1 was never that great. What is wrong with you? In most levels there are these side-scrolling bonus rounds, which for some reason you can fall off of it if you so much as press forward or back. They did not lock the controls to left or right. You only get one shot with these things too. What is wrong with you, Crash? Whoa!
Stupid issues aside, the game itself isn't that bad. It's a pretty decent romp once you get into it. How do you get into it, you ask?
Whoa! Whoa!
By losing your mind.
In every level, there are boxes strewn all over the place. These could be springs that bounce you high, activator switches that change something in the level, even Aku Aku to gain an extra hit point, or more commonly, just Wumpa Fruit. Wumpa Fruit are a strange mix of mango and apple and are synonymous with the Crash games. Breaking the previously mentioned boxes releases them, and collecting 100 of them gives you a life. You will need these. Breaking the boxes also aids in the side goal of collecting gems, the main completion challenge. To collect a level's gem, you need to break every single box in the level and its bonus rounds and make it to the end. Some levels have colored gems, which unlock paths for more boxes in other levels, meaning that you will have to recomplete many levels since you did not have the colored gem beforehand. It doesn't help that all but one of the colored gems are on the final island. Now to get these colored gems, you only need to do everything for a normal gem, and also
not die.
It is absurdly annoying to get so close to gaining one of the most important things in the game, to have it stolen from you because a hitbox decided to be jank. On top of this, the momentum mechanics are difficult to get the hang of, causing dozens of deaths that don't even feel like they are the player's fault.
So nope, not 100%ing the game. I choose life.
There are 3 main islands, but there are more like 5.5 areas separated by boss levels. Let's begin with the very first stage, Insanity Beach. Move explainer, I hardly... Yeah, this game doesn't actually tell you how to play, you just fumble with the buttons and figure it out yourself. This is a standard first level with minimal danger, though this box chain near the end is a taste of the suffering to come. I swear to you, I am pressing forward the same amount of time on each of these jumps. Jungle Rollers is the next level and has these big stone things that'll get you with their janky hitboxes and timing shenaniganery. On top of that, this introduces those strangely designed bonus stages. Thanks, Naughty Dog, I love going forward in a 2D plane! The level that follows that one is the Great Gate, and it's a mostly 2-dimensional level with a lot of tiki tribal theming. It's alright. That's about it. Boulders is the first chase level of the series. The perspective is flipped and now you run towards the camera to get away from a giant boulder, thus the level's name. It's a good challenge, but prior reaction speed is above average because you do not have much time to jump over these pits. Upstream is a journey through uncompromising hitboxes that simply want you dead. It is difficult to successfully navigate the obstacles presented in this level, especially these plant things. There's no significant motion or wind-up that show when they're about to chomp, thus making it hard to predict what time is safe to go.
Yeah, like crossing a street.
The first boss level is Papu Papu, and he is the most pathetic thing you overcome on the entire first island. By difficulty, it is practically a boss from the Mario series and is hardly an inconvenience.
I didn't even need to bring out the big guns.
Rolling Stones is another fairly normal level, with a lot of these rocks from Jungle Rollers. There are 2 bonus rounds in this level. Oh joy! It's really just kind of fine. There's not much to it, but boy, sometimes these hitboxes will just get you. Hog Wild is one of 2 animal riding stages in the game. I'm glad there aren't very many of these because these are trial and error the level. Annoying as crap and prone to terrible hit detection and controls, the second of these is non-mandatory for a reason. Native Fortress is the last level on the first island and is a real test of your skills to make sure you are prepared for the rest of the game. It's a fine stage with some mildly infuriating mechanics. I refer to these things that you have to spin and then jump on. If you mess up any of the jumps, you have to start from the bottom because of how they are designed.
Don't ask.
Up the Creek is another river level and is completely fine. That's all there is, really. There isn't anything else. Okay, roll the tape!
Ripperoo is the second boss and is a crazy idiot who messes around with dynamite. Much like myself.
He's a very simple test of timing and prediction that doesn't pose too much of a threat. Just step on the TNT at the right time to blow him sky high. Like that funny movie with weird superheroes. The Lost City is the first Ruins level and is an absolute pain to deal with. Especially these bats, they're really difficult and sometimes just kill me because, yep, that was in their hitbox. Temple Ruins is inside of the temple. These moving platforms are a little janky, but it's a fine stage. Road to Nowhere is the first of the 2 bridge stages, and oh dear lord, here we go.
These levels are known for being annoying, especially in the remake. However, in the original, they are far less atrocious because Crash's hitbox is a box rather than a capsule. So his little toes don't slip off as easily.
The platforms you have to land on are absurdly small. That paired with other obstacles like hogs and turtles make it very difficult to make it through alive. Once you've played through it enough times, you figure out the timing and blow through the whole level pretty quickly. Boulder Dash is a far more difficult chase level that simply has a higher chance of actually killing you than the first one. The second hog riding level is here, but you can only play it if you get the key in the level Sunset Vista, which is another outside of the Ruins level that's absolutely hellish to try and complete without dying. So no hog riding for me, that's already painful by itself.
The third boss is Koala Kong, a gym bro that skipped leg day for the past 12 years.
He's slightly more of a threat than the other bosses, but isn't too much trouble once you figure him out. So we come to the final stretch of the game, Cortex Island. The first stage is Heavy Machinery, a mostly side-scrolling level with a lot of lasers and mechanical stuff. It's fairly challenging, but it didn't take that long to finish. Cortex Power is far more difficult, especially because of these atrocious branching paths. I can't even fathom how difficult it must be to get the jump for this level. The generator room isn't nearly as bad, but it's still fairly difficult. This platform in particular caught me off guard. I just wanted the boxes, gosh dang it! Toxic Waste is all about timing your movements around these barrels. It's completely average, but it does have a colored gem, so good luck getting that. Boss fight ensues with Pinstripe Potaro? Never mind, he's a Tommy gun wielding maniac.
However, all you have to do is hide behind the furniture.
Simply stand behind a couch and spin him when he's walking around or when his gun jams. What a joke. I think that this is on purpose though, because the level right after him is the High Road. This is the other bridge level and is in many compilations of the hardest video game levels ever. It's really not that bad if you got good, but I digress. This has far more of the turtles that you need to bounce on, and figuring out the proper momentum required to clear the gaps is tough enough even with experience. And right after that is Slippery Climb.
Hey, is this the mental health hotline? Yeah, I'd like to know what disorder causes someone to put themselves through Slippery Climb. What do you mean, yes?
This level, this absolutely broke my sanity. When I played the remastered version 4 years ago anyway. This run around didn't go nearly as bad, and I actually enjoyed it a little. I have a problem, don't I? Lights Out introduces a darkness mechanic, which is completely negated if you just don't get hit, so that was fun. There is another darkness level, but it's locked behind a key, so I didn't play it. Jaws of Darkness, not a darkness level, is a ruins interior, much like temple ruins. It's pretty difficult, and will shave off a few lives from your counter. Castle Machinery is a gauntlet. It is extremely difficult, and it is so petty that it shows you the level exit at the very beginning to give you false hope. The entire level just wants you dead. Every laser, robot, and random platform wants to see you lose all your lives. We didn't start the fire because there's already one burning. Dr. Nitrous Brio is the second to last boss and is actually a decent challenge. The mad scientist will throw potions and enemies at you before ultimately becoming the Hulk. The second phase of the fight is a bit easier, but you can still lose it all and have to start over.
And now the final stretch of the game.
The lab. Legitimate pain.
Must we? Okay.
This level is as much of an uncompromising gauntlet as Castle Machinery. It'll test your skills to the limit and is very, very difficult. There are all sorts of obstacles here, but one I'd like to highlight is this guy with shot gauntlets. He's super annoying to figure out and will delete a few numbers on your life counter for sure. Then there's the final boss, Dr. Neo Cortex.
This guy's a joke.
Cortex really relied on his home defense system because when it comes down to him, he's pathetic. It's almost pitiable how terrible he is at actually getting you killed. Take him down, save the girl, the game is over. Overall, it's a fine game. Unreasonably difficult? Yes. Sometimes a little buggy? Yes, but remember this was a new, early foray into 3D platforming that didn't really have any comparison beside Mario 64, which was still vastly dissimilar. It is still a really good game and will always be remembered, especially since it got a remaster.
Which I am not going to go into today. My contract only told me to look at the first game, so long, Crash. Unless you come back with a better moveset, maybe a slide jump, I never want to see you again.